Guys. All right. So we got fun stuff this morning. We get to play in the mech bay. Yes! The mech bay is so fun. Okay. I think the name of the save was travel and new mechs. Okay. So we've got 2 mechs we need to tweak. And we've got 7 days of nonsense. I think we're good to go here too, right? We've got money for upgrades. I think yes. We sold pretty much everything we could afford to sell. Maybe we can get rid of 1 AC-20. Is this thing just better in all ways? 125, 16. 125, 18. 4 recoil. 2 recoil. No, it's not better in all ways. Got our PPCs. AMSs. It's probably too many LRMs. I think this is all stuff we want to hold on to. I'm not sure about this thumper artillery. It sells for a lot too. Seems actually pretty good. Other thing would be engine cores. I think we can dump a 145. I think it's too small. And I think that is it. 14 heat sinks. Maybe can go down to 10. Get some heat sink doubles. Gonna need jump jets. Gonna need sensors. Is that a sensor improvement? Holy crap, that's a big one. Do we need standard engines here? I think we probably do. Do we keep the chemical lasers? I think we sold them. And if we sold the chem lasers, we don't need the chem ammo. No, we kept the chem lasers. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. All right. Let's get going. Were we buying anything? I think we bought everything we wanted here, or rather everything we could realistically afford and wanted. My other questions would be things like FCS advanced zoom. Oh, the quiet stormer. There's a heat bank. Pretty damn nice. Oh, this is a pretty shit heat bank. And oh, the rangefinder was a cockpit upgrade though. Okay. New mech hype, indeed. I am hyped as shit. We're actually we'll be designing them right now as we travel. Okay. We are going to Nusacon, which I think was about here. Right there. Travel, 11 days. Travel. Let us begin. Is this real-time strategy? No, it's turn-based strategy. All right. The crew is bubbling with enthusiasm about the local endurance competition. Test 9 has requested permission to compete. I'd like you to make the call. Deny the shore leave. Grant shore leave to Test 9. Alright. He's gained athletic. Less fatigue generated from combat and high spirits. Nice. Good morning, Miklas. Okay, I don't know how many days we just lost. I think it was less than a day. But we need to throw our guys into the mech bay. So our line breaker is pretty much golden, I think. Anything I would like to change with them? They're running... We do have some upgrades available on them. I don't remember if I have that list of things still. Somewhere, I might. Or might be need to make a new one. Alright, so this was looking pretty good. The SRMs have been kicking ass. The only thing I kind of want on this guy is an AMS system, but I don't think we have the weight to mess with that. We have, this is using the right one still, this is missile accuracy. Got Guardian ECM on it, missile accuracy. Did end up stripping one jump jet, right? So we're down to 4. Where's our head equipment? Oh, we could clan endo steal it, which gets us slots back. Which I'm not sure we care about. Probably death ones. Alright. If we got a life support upgrade, which gives tactics. We're running sensor sniper at the moment, so cockpit is currently the Solaris cage, which was pretty good. Armor, plus 1 injury resisted, as well as 1 level of jammer and 1 guts. Now the thing is, we picked up this really sweet clan one. 2 to gunnery, 2 to piloting, 1 to guts, 1 to tactics. Like, this is disgusting. Take pilot damage upon overheating when active. Control, click on move button to activate this item. Plus 2 initiative when active. What happens? Hey lady, quick question for you on this. If I active, how do I, isn't the activation of the Guardian ECM also control clicking on move? Yeah. What if I have both of those equipped? How do I choose between which are going active? So it will be like different options when I do that. Hey, Tomulus. Welcome back, Tom. Thanks, man.
I love the smell of diesel in the morning.
These run on nuclear fusion, I believe. But could be. I guess the smell of fusion maybe could be mistaken for diesel. I click on the item to activate. But when you're in the game, the way you activate between those. Okay, it would be a separate menu when it comes up. Okay, cool. Alright, take pilot damage upon overheating when active, 2 initiative when active, 2 maximum evasion pips when active, increase called shot modifier by 20% when active, plus 1 accuracy when active, 0% failure. I want to know how much chance of failure reduced by piloting skill. How much per? Does it tell me somewhere? I mean, 0% failure on activation is pretty damn nice. Okay. This thing is disgustingly good. Also, mission just improved. Key mission just improved it by hijacking the sensor button bar below weapons in a components menu. Nice. Okay. So it will be easier. So this is definitely an improvement then, the clan imaging. It has to be with this, which is a sensor suite thing. +1 initiative, +2 maximum evasion pips, +2 evasion gain from movement.
Quitters never win.
Pilot injury on mech shutdown. Huh. I don't know, chat. Do we want to throw the enhanced imaging on this guy or the hunchback, the the frontline hunchback? They're both very good. Oh, the other thing I kind of wanted to do, I was going to check this, is what does it cost me to change to a engine XL, an XL clan engine here? $1 million. Fuck that. You have a wiki entry for all failure chances? Okay, I'll check that out then. Thanks. Welcome back, Bandungo, for the 5 months. Thank you. Roguetech wiki failure chance. Let's see what it says. Activatable failure. Okay. Oh, I see. Nice. It's a good one to have. I think this is maybe a DNI cockpit. Piloting skill. Wow, the piloting skill actually crushes it. If that's the right thing. Figure out the name again. Ooh, nice page. That's a bookmark. Bookmarked page. Okay. The escalation lady actually does make the missions harder, which is fucking great. I was really pleased to see that. We actually started running into some pretty difficult missions for our size of our mech lance yesterday, which was super fun. I really like the difficult missions. Did get stuck on that fog of war bug, which, who told you that? I don't know, but it did work that way. The missions all are you sure? Because all the missions re-rolled the day after escalation. All the missions re-rolled in the system we were in, and they went up in difficulty. And all the difficulty on the entire world map right now has gone up too. And it's gone up exactly 2 stars. Oh, this is now 1. It was 1.5 last time. Maybe it's only gone up 1 star. Doesn't do that? Then what is the difficulty scaling related to? Because the difficulty has scaled up. Maybe it's the weight of the money we have? What's in my title of my stream? If it doesn't do that, that's a bit awkward. All right. Well, whatever reason, we're getting harder missions. Okay. Difficulty is scaled by the units you have. Well, then maybe we rolled some hard ones or something. Ran into that stupid line of sight or fog of war bug, as you called it, crashing us again. Seemed to be when our last ally died. It triggered it. Both times it triggered for us. And the only times it's ever triggered have been on the maps where our allies have all died. Sounds like you fixed it already, so maybe that's not relevant information to you, but we ended up having to console through that. Power level of your lance is defined by the cost of the tech you use. See, that makes more sense, because our tech has been slowly increasing in power, which makes total sense. All right. We were refitting the line breaker, potentially doing that, and the decision we are making basically is, do we want to put the new fancy headgear in this guy, or do we want to put it in the other one? So this guy currently has +1 guts and +1 injury resisted and some max HP here. This is much more of a mid-range mech. Really, honestly, the Hunchback is the one that's... But the targeting bonus coming off of the head components is actually really, really nice on lasers and not so nice with missiles. I think we want to run this on the other mech. Okay, so that does leave us the question of what do we want to upgrade in here, if anything. That's going the other one. Do we want to run +1 tactics? So really what that means is I should go look at what the fuck +1 tactics does. I assume tactics, a +1 tactics tied to the mech is exactly identical as a +1 tactics tied to the person, maybe minus the perk. So if I took, for example, where is he? If I took Test 9 and put him in a mech with +1 tactics, does he get called shots taken by this mech where almost guaranteed to hit their location as a bonus? Okay. Well, it's not obvious to me. Gives you a +1 tactics for all rolls concerning tactics, but this is the question, right? Okay, so sure. Also, by the way, Vigilance says that it gives me I had a question about this too yesterday. Vigilance says it gives me an initiative bonus based on, I think it's Guts and Tactics over 2, but it only ever gives me initiative +1. Is that a tooltip bug, or is that something I'm not understanding? Because the combined value of Guts and Tactics over 2 has been higher than 1 on all of my people, but I'm still only getting initiative rolls of 1, it says. Gives you +1 tactics for all rolls concerning tactics. If you're below 10, you get whatever skill would unlock. Oh, nice. Except primary. Okay. No, he says it does. She says it does give called mastery here. I think primary maybe being the... I actually don't know what primary means in this context. I assume it means these things. Depends on the roll. It buffs your initiative roll. It doesn't actually suggest it is a roll. Maybe I'll show you in game. You saw me get +3? Okay, great. Then that's perfect. If there's, I don't care if there's some variance there. I just wasn't sure if it was working. There shouldn't be any variance though, right? Because it doesn't. I understand there's variance in the initiative roll itself, but the talent should always do the same thing since it's based on static numbers. It's based on your 2 numbers over 2, which isn't a value that changes in a mission. There's an icon in your buff bar listing your initiative and why. We'll check that tomorrow then. Or not tomorrow, next mission we run. Okay, so, all right, so tactics essentially for us at low levels, tactic is what? So, because we're mostly running, the people who pilot those front mechs are generally low tactics. So picking this up is another reduced hesitation thing, which is actually pretty good. So having tactics in that the cockpit of the line holder is good. All right.
Welcome to the grease pit.
So the only thing we would consider then is throwing in that tactics one either here or on the the other hunchback. I think it's fine here. I think I might even have a B-pod on the other mech. So I'd like this in here. One day, sure. We should probably creep up some armor values somewhere. I think it was control click to get 1. No. Alt click? No. Shift click? Yes. Yeah, look at that. We did it. 2 extra armor! Alright, it's just gonna go on this arm. It's fine. Any way we could sneak in any more weight here? I think not, correct? Looks pretty good. Okay. You know what? Perfect. Okay, that's one day there. Let's take a look at building our other mechs now, since we've got them and we need to get them in working order. How heavy do mechs get? I think I have assault. I think they go up to 200 in this mod. I think, but I'm not entirely certain about that. It might just be opponents going up to 200. We at least get up to 100 tons, or twice the weight of a hunchback. Yes, it is quite sick. Okay, so our hunchback, who's been great, is so. Oh, this is not the one. We want a major revamps of the other hunchback. Vanilla 80 ton max? No, you could get Atlases in vanilla. All right, so this is our new baby. This is our answer to the fact we don't have an LRM or a long-range AC platform. But we do have someone who could carry PPCs, and we've managed to pick up 3 PPCs in our playthrough right now. Or 4, really. I guess 5, really. Although I think these are low range. It is a little tempting to try to run some of these, but... yeah. Alright. Chad has told me I need to stop being such a fucking pussy about it and put the ER PPC, the clan PPC, on the arm, even though that's scary stuff for me. Okay. We've got the engine fuel cell installed on this, which was expensive. And I think we wanted to upgrade the mech size, right? Threw endo steel on here, which was fine. Didn't need to be clan endo steel. If you lose the body part, you lose the stuff. Yup. That's why I wanted it on the torso. But it is slightly more damage. And it does... the arm is slightly more accuracy. Alright, we wanted to throw in some head equipment on this one. I want battle computer on the smallest mech, so not this guy. This one, I believe, wants breaching shot and evasion ignore. Ignores cover and guarded on the target. Provides 1 evasion pip ignored. Advanced zoom. Accuracy increases every 180 meters. Yeah. Cockpit needs an upgrade. We're probably running the... oh, it was probably comm suites. Right? I don't know if this is any good. Definitely needs increased sight range and sensor range. I don't know which is better. Does this have an active? This runs light ECM. But we're never going to be in range. That one's less important. I think this is better than increased sensor range plus increased sensor sight. Oh, what is this one? Is this a sensor upgrade? This is a sensor upgrade. 4 accuracy at extreme range, 2 accuracy at long range, 1 accuracy at medium range. 5% increased sensor range, 5% increased sight range. Yeah. So this was something we wanted on sensors for this guy. Yep, I understand that, lady. But thanks for the clarification. It also had another just nice bonus, which was provides +1 evasion pips ignored. This thing is going to smack. That's the fucking plan. The plan is to replace that poor old Panther we've been using since day 1. Alright. I don't know. Okay, so we wanted the... that was the sensor upgrade, huh? Okay, so 5%, 5%, which is a little bit rough. But it did have a +2 roll as well, I think. Yeah, okay. So the cockpit now is, do we run the comm suite or not? The alternative for that is just +1 gunnery. I think the increase... I mean, I spend resolve pretty actively. Probably do. Oh, we're getting that in Zweinstein, but that's going on the front line. Hunchback. Okay. No life support bonuses on this one. Alright. We need to sort out the rest of this mech now. So that's the headgear in. The PPC's on, although I'm still so not convinced about this clan PPC being wrist on the arm. Like, we'll probably never get another one of these ones. Like, if it blows up, like, the whole mech, like, suffers a pretty big hit, right? We have an enhanced imaging right there. So it's just, anyways. So this is probably what we're running on this guy. We have the endo steel in. We gotta mess with its heat and weight right now. Oh, and it needs jump jets. Yeah. I'm gonna find more if I can fight them, but we can't guarantee fighting clan, right? So I don't know how many jump jets we need. We have one on there. I think we need more than one, but I'm not sure exactly how many we need. And are we happy with an engine core of this size? This is currently giving us 5 max move, 8 sprint is pretty shit. But I think weight restricted us to this. So where's our coolant? Coolant's all on this. External, internal free, external 2. So 2 of these heat sinks are free. I had some... You had one fancy LL. Maybe that was instead of third PPC for some weight. Oh, large laser. We did pick up a large laser, didn't we? We hadn't even looked at this. How fancy was this? Optimal 450, so it's slightly lower range. Produces less heat, less damage, and weighs less. Four tons is good. Yeah, it's true. Is that the route we're gonna have to go? We haven't really looked at this yet. So where else were we? Okay, so 2 of these heat sinks are mandatory. Let's remember that we're taking them all off, basically that side, which is fine. But 2 are mandatory because of the engine size. And I assume we're massively heat inefficient right now. Heat sinking 30. Are we actually generating 60 though? 62 right now. These are generating, this makes them generate minus 60%. And it generates 50. So, and the other one doesn't generate exactly that. I just want to make sure this is doing it right. So, what was it? 50 heat, so it's doing 20 on these. So 20, 40, plus whatever this generates, 55. 22. So we are generating 66 heat around, which is a lot. Someone told me that recoil doesn't stack. We're going to test that. I don't know yet. Yeah, I was looking at the partial wing too, although I'm not sure if that's going to be necessary or not. We probably need more than 2 heat sinks here. We probably need, or more than 2 jump jets. We might have to go down to 2 PPCs in a large laser. I was told recoil does not stack. So if it's per weapon, that actually is a relevant factor, because we would kind of like to throw another. Recoil is per weapon. Does tactics affect it though? On a per weapon basis? Or is it... So when I fire 3 PPCs, am I gaining 3 recoil minus 1 from my tactics skill? Or am I rolling each one has minus 1 recoil subtracted it? All right, so when I fire this, is it 3 minus 1, 2? Or is it 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1, 0? Tactics doesn't affect recoil. One of the skills affects recoil. Don't maybe look which one it is, but someone's got it. There is a skill that affects tactics. Might be gunnery. But point being, whatever skill it is that affects it. It's neither. What is it then, Fernando? Sure. I'm less interested in which one it is and more interested in what the actual result of the mech is. Am I going to end up with 1 + 1 + 1 - 1? Or am I going to end up with 1 - 1 + 1 - 1 + 1 - 1? The weapon gets a recoil modifier when shot. Okay. But chat, but okay, but lady, this is the thing you and I do every time we try to communicate, right? Is I don't have an answer to that. You're telling me something that I'm either not asking or not understanding the answer here, right? So, okay, we get 1 recoil per gun. Sure. I'm with you. You're telling me it's an attribute applied to the gun. Sure. I'm with you. But what happens when I have -1 recoil? But each gun gets -1 recoil. Okay, so gunnery of, I guess, 5 or 6 or whatever the hell it is gives you the -1 recoil. Literally means that I get... So the answer to this would have been like 30 seconds, like 5 minutes ago when I was like, so essentially this is 1 - 1 plus 1 - 1 plus 1 - 1. Well, it matters because if each of these weapons independently stacks recoil and that recoil is a mech attribute, which you're telling me it isn't, then this would be 3 - 1 for 2. And that would be 2 recoil, which is 2 accuracy penalty to the mech. Alternatively, if this is just like a single, if each of these weapons is independent of the other weapons and the piloting skill applies to each weapon, then it's 1 - 1 for each of these. If the piloting skill only applies one, or the gunnery skill, excuse me, only applies once, and each of these weapons is independent, then he would like take off the debuff on one of them and not the other two. All of these are different. Anyways, okay. I'm trying to understand. It's not a matter of thinking too complicated. It's trying to understand how the systems build together. All right, so we got it answered. It's good enough. We got it answered. So there isn't a downside to running 3 PPCs as opposed to 2 PPCs and a large laser, except for heat and weight. How do we get heat and weight involved on this thing? All right, we've already run the gyro in. DHS, we can't go DHS with this engine fuel cell in here. And actually, I'm pretty sure this is venting more heat than the DHS would anyways. Difference between a clam PPC and a normal one, heat and damage. I can go ferrofibrous. That's not a bad idea. I wanted to try to fit this fucking void system on here too. This thing looks sweet as shit. I kind of wanted the beagle probe here too. This might be too heavy right now. Oh man. Man. All right, so where's my ferrofibers? Right there. Okay, so we toss that in. That actually helped immensely. Why does it say minus 1.01 tons? Was it really? Oh, maybe it didn't help immensely. It helped slightly. Okay. We probably have too much armor on here too, honestly. Like this is supposed to be a long range dude. But that does help a little bit. I don't want to go down to the LRM. There's no way we can run this. This causes too much heat, but it would be super sexy on something like this. But if we're going to really try to fucking force 3 PPCs onto this bad boy, then we really probably need to not do that. It's currently running no ECM. I think a Beagle probe would be pretty good here. Increased sensor range and increased sight range is actually really relevant for somebody who's firing PPCs at 500 range. And also countering active sensor probes counter ECM stealth by 2. I don't think there's an aura on that. I think that's just like inherently built in. It'd be really nice to have a Beagle probe on this thing. And I need some more jump jets. So we need like 5 more tons on this. You know, like the difference between a PPC and a large laser. Oh, I didn't even think about XL engine. I'm pretty sure we can't run. I don't know if we can get an XL engine here or not. We can't do a DHS kit because we already have the fuel cell in. And the DHS kit takes the same spot as the fuel cell. We do have XL engines somewhere. Right there, right? Can that go in? No, that pulls the fuel cell out. And I'm pretty sure each of these don't work too, right? Hold on. This goes for... No. Yeah, the fuel cell is fucking insane. One of these was something too. Was it? Might have been the exchanger. Yeah, 10% weapon heat generated. I think we have an exchanger plus on somebody, but I don't think it's available to be removed right now. Wait, fuel cell can't be used with heat exchanger? Why not? Boo! Fuel cell can't be used with thermal exchanger. Grumble. Okay. Didn't know that. Alright, so we are pretty much stuck then. The only way we can add heat removal here is actual heat sinks, and we do need some actual heat sinks. So we can't run. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to run 2 PPCs and the large laser. Feels bad. Okay. Says so in the cell description. I was told to ignore flavor text. I don't see where it says this here. I just see turret critical, vehicle critical traits. Swap your SHS for a DHS. We can't. We've just talked to this. We've talked through that same talking point like 6 times now. All right. All right. Large laser, pulse, or ER large laser rather. Okay. Gives us a little bit of tonnage. Our heat is still not okay right now. I'm unsure how I feel about 2 jump jets. He's already at 6 days. So, okay. Yes, chat. The mech is going to be hot. You're correct. We're just talking about that. So current heat then is 20, 22 for 42, 42, and 0.4 of 36 is 3 points? No, I did that wrong. It's 0.1. God damn it. It's 14. So we're doing 22, 14.4, and 20 for 0.4. 56.4. Thank you, DHB88, for the 26 months. Appreciate that support. All right, could do something like that. Could get a half ton of, let's say we pull a half ton of armor off to get that on. And that's venting 42 heat per round, but we're generating 56. So that's still not ideal. Jesus, can we maybe only go to 2 PPCs? I thought we were going to get 3 on this thing. Well, let's say we don't. Gives us a shit ton of weight to work with. Can't run exchange. Can I run a heat bank on this? Looks like no. The fuel cell blocks everything. Doesn't properly calculate heat reduction efforts. That's why I'm properly calculating it. That's why I'm doing it by hand. 'Cause I didn't trust it either. It seems like decent heat. Well, with 2, it's decent heat. With 2, we're only generating 20 and 22. We're generating 44 heat per round, and we're sinking right now, apparently 42 per round. So we will generate heat by flying with jump jets, but in general, we're not generating. We're heat neutral with two PPCs. Feels a little bad because 3 PPCs feels like, you know, 50% damage increase, but maybe. Here we can jam on 2 more jump jets, keep the armor relatively high. I could probably get the Beagle probe in here, which would be nice. I might even be able to run Guardian ECM. Beagle weighs 1.5. Yeah, we have to decide how extreme we want to go on the build, because I would love to have a fucking 3rd thing. Does this give any inherent boosts? No. This makes enemies easier to spot. Yeah. If you use 3 PPs firing every other round versus 2 firing every round, it's the same number of shots, but you get higher alpha and no recoil. So 3-0-3 is 6 shots in 3 rounds. 2-2-2 is 6 shots in 3 rounds. But if you're getting the second round of recoil, it's actually less, right? Because your round is 2. So you actually get, with 3 firing every other round, it's 1.5 per round. So your damage is less, not the same. Thank you, these ads blow for the 31 months.
Same filthy. Cheers.
Slightly improved filthy, I'd like to say. But I could run AMS on this too, with the extra weight. .322 is what they run in tabletop. I'm not in the least bit convinced that I want to spend every other round not firing. I mean, there is something to be said about how quickly... I think we're going to cap heat pretty quick, too. Since I can't put a heat bank on this, we can't up our maximum heat threshold, which means we cap out... I think base heat threshold is 100 then. And we're generating like 50 worth of heat with 2 shots. So we will hit heat threshold in 2 turns. Damage this turn is worth a lot more than damage next turn. Yeah, no. Like, I don't deny the power of Alpha Strike, but sustained damage is also something. I don't want to spend every other turn not shooting when we can get recoil down to 0. If this was recoil 2, maybe we could build the mech that way, where we want to spend every other turn not shooting, especially if we had other things to do, but we don't. I mean, we are going to a cold climate, so for this next run, we could just run with like 3 PPCs and laugh hysterically, but in general, we're not going to be going to cold climates. We're going to be, in general, I want it to be a generalist, not a specialist for cold climates. Also, doesn't it add a shit ton of time to put that weapon on? Like, we might actually be getting away, like, kind of free for this. Like, throw another PPC on there. It goes up to 9 days. It's 2 days per, I guess. How much heat would be shoot weight? Shoot weight? Every 3rd round off for hitting 6 like that. So we upfront it by a round is kind of interesting. That's a fair question. I mean, but we got to think of the opportunity cost for what modules we can't fit on doing that, because we weren't to weight already with that. But the heat for shoot weight is 20, 20, 22, so it's 62 a round. So shoot weight goes 62 to 124. We're venting. We get less heat sinks on there. Venting less. I don't know. I don't think the heat supports it, honestly. Light PPC. Light PPC is shit range, right? Yeah, it's better alpha, but it's not free, chat. I mean, we can look at those variants, but every time. Okay, so. All right, I think we're gonna end up on this variant, but we'll double check the other ones real quick because it's a fair question and it's worth taking a look at. So if we drop out of this for a second, the problem is this: the modifications of it aren't free in terms of our time to do this. But let's say, okay. But let's say we were running. I don't think 3 PPCs ever fit, but 2 PPCs and a large laser are the closest we come to fitting for that. So we can run ferrofibrous. We already are running the endo steel. Maybe we can get Patchwork on there as well. We'll see in a second if we have to do that. We can't do engine or heat modifications because of the engine fuel cell. And we've already paid $1 million for the engine fuel cell, so it's fucking on there and it's on there for good. I guess we need to run the equipment portions in here, which are cockpit equipments. We decided on sensor tracker. It was very nice. The comm suite was going to be run on that. And the FCF Mark II, TC Mark II. I don't know what TC stands for. Targeting computer, probably. Okay. So that was that. And then weapons. The weapons were PPCs. We can run an ER PPC and a ER clan PPC. Like that. Okay. So the question was, what does it do to our heat to throw a third PPC on? Or rather a laser, because we don't have a weight for a third PPC. So if we put a ER clan laser in here, this actually keeps all 6 heat sinks. We have 1 jump jet. We need at least 1 more jump jet on, but we can probably mess around with just a little tiny bit of weight reduction for that. We don't get the Beagle system, which is going to fuck up our accuracy long term, but maybe okay. Where are my jump jets? Jump jets are not this, apparently. Equipment, jump jet. All right. Oh, we had this sensor. No, sensor tracker is really good, yeah. All right. So here then, our heat efficiency is super bad, but let's ask the question of 2 turns on, 1 turn off for damage is interesting. So shutdown's at 100. Our alpha strike is 56 supposedly. I don't know if I buy that. This is 22. That's 20 and 22. And then, what is it? A tenth of this, 3.6, and 4 of those is 7.2 is 14 then, 14.4. So we're doing 56.4 heat per round. So we go 56.4 heat, then a round of, then we heat sink 40 of it, and then we do 56 point again. Actually, we probably can do that. Is that better? Can't get the Beagle probe on here. It's interesting. So do we have everything we need here? We can if we drop some armor. Yeah, okay, so that's worth looking at as a comparison, because we can do the 3-3. We can do 3-3-3, 3, then nothing. And that damage is the equivalent of 2-2-2, right? So that's a fair assessment, and it's front loaded, which is better. But what can we do if we don't run the large laser? So if we don't do that, we can do the 3-3-2, and it's a 6-day build, probably a 7-day build by the time we do armor, and we're done, and we get going. Mediums? Please, sir. Please. We're not putting medium lasers on this mech. All right. Yep, sometimes we keep shooting it overheat like we always do, for sure. Although I like doing that with better heat systems in place. But okay, but let's take a look at what it looks like with... By the way, I love the mech bay. The mech bay makes me very happy. What can we get going? So that was only like 2 heat sinks too, so we give up mobility for it and whatnot, but sure. Cockpit small, image enhancing. The other one is sensor tracker, right? Okay. All right, here we can fit in for accuracy. We can throw in the Beagle probe. We're considering throwing in the, there's an AMS in here somewhere, which I think is a weapon AMS. Yeah, we could throw a laser AMS in there. Generates heat as well, though. I'm not sure I want it on this guy or not. Like, certainly if we get clumped together, I do want it there. This is a non-armor AMS, right? Or is this the armor AMS again? Oh, this is armor AMS. I thought I had a non-armor AMS. I guess too many weapons mounted on right torso. What am I not understanding about this? This requires a support slot. Ah. Where do I see that? Oh, I do like the idea of having 3 big guns on it. Big guns make me happy. Oops. The non-armor AMS don't do AoE. Okay. The AI will shoot my long-range mechs with fucking LRMs from time to time, and we might have the ability to actually run some of that. Is there anything else we would really like to run on this? Can't really get other engine parts on. I think no. Maybe like the wings or something like that. No AMS does AoE. They don't mean AoE damage here, lady. They mean protects your group, and the integrated AMS does exactly that. Protects people in an aura, but it's okay. It's just communication. All AMS work in an area. Increased missile range. Anti-missile system requires no ammo fires at any incoming missile attack. Sure. Overloaded AMS will protect lance mates within range. This does not have the will protect lance mates within range element. So this one will not protect in an area of effect. All right, so we're clear on those being different. So this would just be self AMS. What then? So this is, so really it's the Beagle probe that we care about. How valuable do you think this is going to be for a sniper? Penetrating ECM is useful. And stealth. Because it makes stealth mechs are extremely difficult to shoot at long range because you never get a visual lock on them. But it is less damage up front. Yeah, I'd say pretty good as well. Right, is it worth... Well, it's not 1/3 less damage. It's... Because remember, the other mech is basically 2 shots, then 1 off kind of thing. Or maybe even, might be a little bit more than that. Yep. All the damage in the world doesn't matter if you can't see or hit the target. That's the wrong way to look at it, because it's all percentage changes, right? If you put out 1,000 weapons on, but your percent change from like a 10% to a, from a 20% to a 10%, you know, like if your chance to hit halves, but your number of weapons more than doubles, your damage has gone up. But I mean, clearly, the comparison isn't as extreme as that for weight. But the point being that you can't just use the rule of thumb with that. I don't hate the idea of the AMS on here. I don't know. I mean, the AMS on the Hunchback, though, would be disgusting. It's just I'm not sure we're going to have the weight for it. So the Hunchback will pick up some pretty good weight. I mean, I almost need to do that first, right? I really do like the Beagle Probe. Do these stack? Can I run 2 of these? No. Does this give me any sort of sight range shit? No. I don't want to argue with this lady. Like, I'm using an example off the top of my head. Maybe the math isn't exactly right, but the point being, the primary point stands with that, right? So I can't think of anything else we really care about on this guy besides a bit more heat sinks. So the comparison then is really the Beagle Probe, the Laser AMS maybe, and some more heat sinks or more jump jets. The jump jets are pretty pathetic right now. 2 doesn't really get us anywhere. We can throw a wingsuit on this guy if we wanted to, or wing whatever it's called, wing something, which would probably be good. Heat sinks are roughly the same as heat sinks, gives us increased jump jet range, not needing it anywhere else. The only thing is, basically, what is the other mech look like? And maybe what we need to do then is take a second and figure that out, so we can maybe get our other Hunchback off the mech bay and then see if we can fit the AMS on that. Because if we can't fit the AMS on that, then we maybe want to do that. Maybe we want to put it on our long range mech. All right, so this guy needs to be pulling all this shit off, and then we're gonna try to drop some head components in here. This is going to be our battle computer, which I like. This is going to be probably... Comm Suite is in the other guy, right? Okay, yeah. Sensor Sniper, Sensors Powered, Sensor Tracker, all in the other one. Is there anything else this one runs? He really runs nothing else, huh? I think Breaching Shot applies to the Tag Barrage. Did that up it by a day, by the way? No. Okay. Doesn't AoE can't breach? Okay. Yeah, it's fair. It's an AoE, not a single... I think of it as a single shot, but you're right. It is an AoE weapon. Okay. So anyways, this guy is going to be the battle computer one. Although tactics is useful here, but I really like the idea of the non-combat mech doing the boosting for everybody else. Where did it go? It went down to... Comm Suite. No. Oh, it's still on. No? Oh, we have other things in here too. What is this? Okay, +1 increased resolve gain for lance mates and aura range. That's nice. Okay. I've lost it. Okay. What happened to the totem thing? It's covered up by the computer. Ah. What did it do? I mean, that's nice, but I would rather the initiative boost, which was up. Okay. Alright, what else is going on with this guy? Presumably, this is 5 days right now. I think this was one of the ones. This has the Omnitech Gyro clan. Seems pretty great. We're running an Engine XL on it. Not clan. And an Engine 270, so it's fast as shit, which is nice. What are we going to do with this guy? So, I think this is where we wanted to throw in the integrated AMS system, which is weapon, AMS, integrated laser AMS. Still 5 days. Expensive to put that on and off, but that's okay. We have the C3 slave on it, which I kind of want anyways. This is running DHS cooling then, with double heat sinks? No. Not enough free slots in the core, probably because of the XL. Just out of curiosity, if I pulled the XL off and just put a regular engine on. Dude, I gotta remember which is which. Maybe it's a cooling part. Oh, there it goes. Okay. If we put that on. Can't change the engine. I think we can't. Didn't it just let us change that? I think we can confirm that. We have no pending bars that I'm aware of. Read the Omnitech Gyro. Well, rapid refitting, but have permanently fixed internals. Minus 50%, minus 50%, 20%, 20%, 50% of stability. Is this what it means by permanently affixed internals? What are internals relative to cooling and armor? Can't change the gyro, the 275, and the engine XL. Okay. But we could throw in cooling if we wanted. Alright, minus 60% heat versus if we don't have that on, it's minus 30 heat. So it does double the heat reduction before we start fitting stuff on, which is pretty nice. Although we could also run the compact one. It also makes it much more expensive when we get blown the fuck up. But let's say we want to do that. So I'm really kind of curious now. So our spider did nothing in terms of damage. You know, that's the other thing. How does the tag barrage AoE work? If I put that on the long range mech instead of the close range spider, I need to read that piece of equipment. How does it work if I want a multi-shot? Can I still ground attack multi-shot with that thing while multi-shotting other ones? Or does this require its own attack roll? Yeah, sure, but I want to know how it works with other weapon systems, lady. So if I want to fire, let's say I put it on a guy with medium lasers, and I had multi-targeting. Can I have all my medium lasers hit that one guy, and then I multi-attack the ground over there with the tag? Can't multi-shot a ground attack, right? So this thing really does not want to be on somebody who is attacking regularly. It's been really good, though. Does it go in here? We were considering putting LRMs on this. Indirect LRM fire on this. Has a billion options of all types. aim the barrage at someone else. Yeah, I've been really unimpressed with the barrage aiming though, because the ground attack never misses, and I'm not sure what happens. Like I'm getting like 20% accuracy on this. I don't know what the fuck happens when it does that. Would it fit into the off window for the PPC mech? Sure, but you want to use this. I feel like I want to get this cooling down as soon as possible because it's a very powerful effect, which means I want to use it first, which doesn't really fit with the other version. It has only 4 per location. 4 what? Oh, right, sure. It only has 4 of every slot in each per location. Good point. It's pretty restricted. I hear you. Oh, it's not 4 of each, it's 4 of any. Okay. Sure. I don't want a medium laser on this fucking thing. I don't want this thing ever to be in line of sight of anybody if I can avoid it. We do actually have LRMs. And MRMs. I think we have MRMs. Kind of like the rocket idea on it too. And I kind of don't hate it as punching as well, surprisingly. We don't have high recoil weapons on anybody. So what do we want to do with our glorious new fire starter, chat? Personally, I want to load it up with the Thunderbolts as well. I mean, these only weigh 1 ton.
Quitters never win.
Thank you, Borga. For the 11
Keep
months.
up the great work.
Not permitted. Omnis apparently do not include missile slots. Awkward. Ballistic, laser. That's a missile hardpoint. Alright, what am I doing wrong here? Component not committed. Component not permitted on the arm. 0 of 4. We do have 4 missile hardpoints there. We have space for it. We have the weight for it. What am I doing wrong when I apply that there? It only fits in left or right torso? It's in the flavor text. Oh, I thought I had to ignore flavor text. Okay. Only fit in, it says the last line of the flavor text. I literally skimmed down 2/3 of the flavor text and flavor text and stopped. AWDI. Okay.
Another
Thank you, Iron Root, for the sub. Welcome. All right. But if we just put a lot of disposable weapons on this thing.
Quitters never win.
Still got tons. Coach Garen with the 10-month resub. Cheers. Still got tons of weight for this. I mean, I'm not in the least bit happy with these armor distributions. But I mean, if we keep throwing things on, like, you know, randomly throw a tag barrage on there or something. It's not running all the things we wanted to run still. I did eventually end up putting a Beagle probe on the other one. Could also make it our stealth mech. So many decisions on this. It's a new mech. So we used the UAV on the last one. UAVs were kind of underwhelming. And we can run Guardian ECM on it if we want. Feels like we're underutilizing this chassis right now, though. I mean, I could maybe make it melee too. We haven't even started with this, right? So this is just from the get-go. First look at this mech. What do we want to do with it? We have melee weapons. wonder if I can see his melee attack rolls on this once we add those to their ML, I guess. So we could just, you know, casually put the fucking 100x LBX boomstick on it. Surprised you got too close. Which would be kind of funny, but probably a little troll. But what if we didn't do that? What is the weight on this? Weight on this is 10. What are the weights on these other ones? Spiked Wrecking Ball. Done easy peasy, right? I'm not. Part of me is like, yeah, yeah. Not sure we have enough of these is the only issue. Is this like an either or? Support energy melee weapon. It's not permitted in that location. Omnitech can't be used with the plasma torch. Okay. Yeah, I've heard the boomstick is very good, for sure. I don't know if we realistically have to wait for it though. I mean, okay, let's pretend that we decided that the boomstick is, we want to put our extremely expensive boomstick component on this very light mech. Shouldn't have allowed me the wrecking ball either. The engine sucks on it though. 8 of 5 hex movement, no jump jets. What do you mean 8 of 5? Max move 7, sprint 11. Seems pretty nice. Oh, I see. Different game. I see. Tag barrage. We don't have the integrated AMS yet, but we can get there. Heat's probably an issue, but I'm really considering running the DHS here. We have 3 of them. I mean, this is looking not terrible, honestly. Gotta get some ammo on there, presumably. Double ammo, 25%. Okay, 12 shots, 5 shots. We got 2 of them. Mount 1 or more weapons that require ammo. Sure. Uses LBX times 20 ammo. We may not have LBX times 20 ammo. We don't have any LBX ammo. So this is a different ammo than I was expecting. Bummer. Okay. Check store. We're in transit. There's no store. Check when we get there, but then we won't be able to install this. I like how that takes 0 days to install. Really? Zero days to install? Okay. PPC takes me 3 days or something. Omnimech. I like this Omnimech status. Alright, C3 Slave, Guardian Mech, or Guardian ECM, probably going to be running the UAV over here. So I got tons and tons of weight here. 2 tons of armor. Heat efficiency is actually fucking incredible right now. Don't need heat sinks on it, right? The mech engine's big enough that it doesn't require a heatsink to go with this. All the heat sinks are internal. Does it want max jump jets? It's not on max, it's at 4 of 6. I mean, that's actually kind of interesting. Let's go in on our hunchback to the bellow, which we're gonna do in a second. Dude, the only downside of this thing is I have to do all the changes now. I don't know if is LBX ammo a common ammo to buy, chat? Could probably drop the double heatsink. It's probably correct, actually. Gets us a ton back. Still really heat efficient for what we're doing. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah, the laser AMS does generate a shit ton of heat. .24 heat around per missile, and it intercepts like 7 missiles around or something ridiculous. Could build around that too. I don't know. I don't know if putting that weapon on when we don't have ammo on a non-dedicated melee mech makes much sense, but I would like this thing to have a little bit of punch for some situations where I don't want it to be in firing range very often because it's our smallest, lightest mech, and I want it doing other things like sensor probing, ECMing, etc. But I don't hate the idea of it occasionally doing something like that. I mean, it's a lot of weight for that weapon. We could run other weapon systems. It could LRM. Indirect LRM fire would actually be pretty useful here, and it actually fits nicely with the people we've been using to pilot it, right? The sensor pinging, whatever. I mean, we can fit, I don't know if we can fit these. These are only 3.5 fucking tons, and what does this weigh? 7? Spider did end up with plenty of chances to melee, but because of how we did that, right? We could get 30 fucking LRMs on this thing. What does indirect mean in this context? You don't have to have line of sight. You could fire it over a mountain. So we could do this, slap on some armor, or slap on some ammo for this, and let it fire fairly regularly. Boomstick will fuck up other mechs. Sure, but I don't have any ammo for the boomstick. We also have another piece of equipment here that we could use here that we've not been using. The indirect. FCS. It'd be nice to use some LRMs, get a sense of how it feels as the player to have access to it. This is a pretty good mech for it. I kind of like the LRM idea here. I also kind of wanted to fit that squirter on. The fluid gun. What does it weigh? Can this indirect fire? I don't have any ammo for it again, was the problem, which is why we haven't put it on anyone. What's the min penalty for these optimal? Min is 0 on LRMs. Really? No, min is 180. Clan LRMs, 0 minimum range penalty. Yeah, I don't know. This looks pretty attractive to me, chat. Takes advantage of some stuff we haven't been using. Lets me keep running. There's a group of people who we've been building all game long to build indirect missile fire that we haven't been utilizing. Kind of like it. Kind of like it more than... I mean, I didn't mind the heavy autocannon on it either, but I don't have any ammo for it, and it seems a little bit ballsy. Yeah, sure, but we're 3 tons short. We got plenty of, we got plenty of stuff to move for this. I mean, we got tons of LRM ammos. I just haven't looked at them yet. We cannot use the Artemis yet. We don't have the fire computer for it. This is how many missiles? 270 shots. We're doing 30 a round. It's like 9 shots. You can even run more if you want. I only have 1 pod of ammo. No, I have like 12 different pods of ammo. Follow the leader missiles. How much ammo is this? This is 120. So this is just a straight up upgrade of that, it looks like. What's the... Doesn't have active targeting. So is this a minus or a plus? +1 accuracy on long-range missiles, but 35% more likely to be affected by AMS. We're starting to see a fair amount of AMS. LRM swarm, 25% long-range missile damage. Deals area of effect damage. This shit seems good. Follow leader stuff is good. Okay. I mean, we could run all the ammos. I don't know if I understand this one yet. Extra damage. It is still the same amount of ammo. Area of effect damage. Additional area of effect damage of 3 to primary and secondary targets. So it does even more damage then. -2 direct fire accuracy. We're not direct firing it ideally. Swarm missile. Indirect fire system spreads cluster bombs in target areas. It seems like just a straight upgrade again. But Weinstein, that turned out to be false, Weinstein. Damage from the legs exploding carries into the torsos. In the same way that arms exploding carries into the torsos. We had that confirmed by Lady. Could stick a case system on it. Put it all on one arm. Not that arm. The other arm. I think I kept 1 case around. Although case in the arm probably does nothing, right? This is only good for center torso. Wait, the 25% damage is only 25% of normal damage? Ah. I'm not interested in that for AoE effects. Thanks. Okay, it only fits in torso anyway, so this would be carried like this then. That seems promising, chat. Feels like we probably want to make this into LRMs. I mean, we have 1 million equipment slots. We might be able to mess around with what launchers we use as opposed to 2 LRM-15s. That was just the kind of like first look at, well, how many LRMs could we launch? That's a volley of 30, which is okay. We have a couple 10s. What's the difference between the 15 and the 10? 10 weighs... well, I guess that's exactly a weight ratio. It's not actually. It's slightly better weight ratio on the LRM 15. And heat is 12. Heat is 15. The LRM 10 seems really bad right now. Okay. That case does nothing. 3 crits of the XL engine would kill your mech there. Alright, we do have an XL engine. That's a little scary to be putting a bunch of fucking ammo on this thing. What do the 5s do? 5 weighs 2. So it actually is more tonnage efficient than the LRM-15. Heat is A little bit less heat efficient. Probably doesn't really matter. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure AoE helps me all that much at the moment. But anyways, okay. So we could do something like this. This would be pretty solid. We have to mess with the armor values a little bit. Have to figure out where I want to put the ammo. But I get the Guardian ECM, get the UAV, get the C3, get to use a component that's been sitting around for a while, get the AMS on there. That looks decent for what we want it to do. Piloted by the correct people. Fair amount of ammo. Kind of like it. Tag barrage and central torso deliberately, because I'm not ever using it as a targeted attack. I'm always using it as an AoE attack on a location, which doesn't require an accuracy roll, as far as I can tell. It's also more protected in the central torso, right? Okay, I'm gonna grab more coffee, and then we're probably gonna sign off on either this exact, probably sign off on something similar to this. Okay. Right back. So let's fix this and sign off on it. Running endo steel, it's fine. Don't need these spots. Are we happy with the ammo placement? Not particularly. Do we want to spread it out? Probably want to spread it out. Does it tell me how much damage it does to me when it explodes? It will do... maybe? Any remaining ammunition stored inside an ammo bin will explode, dealing damage to the install location. Ammo explodes by one shot left over in the bin by the weapon basic damage. So this does 5 damage per weapon explode per ammo in here. Is that right? So we're gonna do like 500, like 1,000 something, 1,200 points of fucking damage if this went from full. All right, so we'll spend a lot of our early game. All right, so it's fairly important that we get that ammo off our arms. All right, sure. Alright, it's a slight liability running ammo. Oh, the ammo weapons are scary paired with the insane heat the AMS gives. That's not wrong. Keep it in the torso because when the torso dies, you die. Maybe. But I think ammo can go off on a crit, right? Laser rounds probably a bad idea. If your alarm boat gets shot at, you failed. I don't think that's a really good way to look at that. So many of our missions put us spawning in turret range of everything with all of our mechs without any ability to take cover. So I'm not sure I agree with that. We're going to get stray shots thrown at us if we want to or if we don't. Do we go down on total ammo? That's right. Never undock. Always fine. I like the idea of putting ammo in the torso. Again, I think we're missing the fact that I think if you get crit in the torso, though, can't you still trigger ammo explosions, even if your torso is not destroyed? I mean, maybe we could move the tag barrage into, like, over there. So I think there is a downside to doing something like that. The arms are the most vulnerable bit. They stick out, take the damage, etc. It's a little awkward with the engine. It means we get crit to our engine super easily. I mean, we could not make it LRM, but I do really... getting out of direct fire with this thing seems useful, right? The point is to hide behind other shit. Legs or arms, anything else is too risky. I don't know that legs are any better. I mean, maybe legs are better here. Spreads it out a bit. I mean, the ammo explosion still travels, right? Where did my fucking ammo go? That was the LRM Swarm. No, it was the
Quitters never win.
FTL.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sphinx. Thanks for the 3 months. Could do that. It does make it a little bit less scary. Yeah, it's probably better. Good suggestion, chat. All right, we need to... Okay. I don't want to redo it, but we just added a day, probably because we've moved it twice, and it doesn't seem to perfectly do that. I don't have the time for that. Okay. All right, let's repair all. Let's add our equipment that we're running. We're going to be running the battle computer for everybody else's stuff. We're going to be running a C3 slave, which we have already. We're going to be running Guardian ECM, which we apparently have already. Is this the same version of this one? I think it is. We're going to be running a UAV. I'm not sure we're going to be wanting this UAV. I found it fairly not great, and it ends my turn. Can you UAV? I wonder if you can UAV after with ace piloting. Probably not. We'll consider that UAV. That's a maybe right now. We were going to run the FCS indirect, get some use out of that. We could run small cockpit there. We'll have to think about it. Oh, no, we're running... We actually do not have a cockpit upgrade here, do we? We could run planned cockpit here. I don't want -1 gunnery if we're going to actually be shooting. So maybe clan cockpit there is probably fine. Sensors are overwritten by the battle computer, so that's fine. Alright, engine, we were going to switch up to a double heatsink engine. Okay. Ammo, if we were... We're going to drop the LRM 5. And the basic LRM ammo. Our armor was going to have a integrated AMS in it. We're going to run a tag in the center torso. AMS on the chassis, the armor, I guess. Could run an exchanger here. I think there's already an exchanger on the other Hunchback. So if we were trying to... I don't mean exchanger, I mean heat bank. What does it weigh? Weighs 1. Not sure we have the tonnage for that. Let's take a look at our LRMs. We're going to get 30 LRMs on here, which is the plan. I'd actually prefer 2 clan ones here, but that's not an option. We only have the 1. What side do we baby? We baby that side. I'm not running the medium laser. Yeah, the heat bank with the integrated laser AMS would be very nice. I'm not sure we have the weight for it is the issue. I think we did pull a double heatsink off. We upped the armor considerably here as well. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Let's see if we could potentially fit that on. Again, I'm really unexcited about the UAV on here, so now that we're running missiles, maybe we end up taking that off. We'll see. I'm looking for engine, and I'm not entirely certain if the Hunchback has the heat exchanger. I think it does. I don't know how to check easily. I wish I could save partial fits. Yeah, we can always mess with it if we get to it. Let's say we ran this. We need to get ammo on board for LRM ammo. I think we were running double and a... Maybe we could not run a double. We want to run less ammo here. Running that right now. This has 4 of 6 jump jets, which is probably okay. Armor has not been upgraded though. Do we have any other weight saving tricks we can run here? I think we have a 0.2 modifier off of some junk shit or whatever it's called. I can't remember exactly what the thing is called. Enough slots left over for ferrofibers. Ferrofibers takes the same location as the integrated laser, so we can't run that as well. What's the heat efficiency at the moment? We run heat neutral right now, or rather we're actually heat positive right now. But the only thing, we're only spending a ton on heat sinking at all because all the rest of it's internal to the engine. If you plan on using indirect fire, you definitely recommend swarm ammo. Minus 75% damage is a big deal. Why are you excited about swarm ammo? I don't like the reads of this. It's not minus 75% damage. Yes, it is. The 3 damage counters it. What is the actual rate there? So if our basic damage on these are 5, right? So, what does it cost us, chat? On the primary target. So, we have lost 3.75 damage You gain 3 from that if you're hitting multiple targets. Swarm never misses. Give us a ton back if we switch from that. Deals area of effect damage within 30 meters of impact. Additional area of effect damage of 3 to primary and secondary targets. It does say primary there. So does that 3 get added back? So I lose 3.75 for using this missile type. I gain 3 of it back for using this missile type. The only convincing part of this is the weight loss for this. Just try it, never misses. Ah, chat. Okay. All right, I want armor on here. So, what are we armoring up? Everything. Kind of feeling like we don't want this UAV. It's so light, but maybe. Kind of want to get these max armor there. There's a little bit more weight to be had off the patchwork materials. Got us 3 armor pips. Put it this way, the swarm ammo is the favorite ammo of the DM. Yeah. I don't like being railroaded. That's okay. Still not running max armor on this. We might figure out a way to get a little bit more weight later. We do get to run gunnery cockpit, FCS indirect, fire support, battle computer for teammates, running XL engines, decent heat sinking, still got the AMS in there. This looks pretty close to what we wanted from our scout boat. We do drop a UAV, which is kind of a bummer. Is 2 LRM ammo enough? We put in 240 missiles here. We're shooting 30 a round, so it's 8 rounds of shooting. We will run out on this, but this is only ever supposed to be supplementary, right? This is supposed to be our scout boat. I am using indirect ammo. Indirect fire, or at least ideally we'll be using indirect. All right. We happy with this, chat? Moderately? I think we're moderately happy with this. All right, we need to name it. What are we calling it? I kind of liked the bigger spider. What are those, the ones that eat birds? They're giant tarantulas. But there's another, there's some like specific type. This is definitely not. Trapdoor spiders, omni spiders, bird eating spider, Australian spider, Bodie McLRM boat face. That's probably not gonna make the cut, I don't think. All right, we're gonna call this one giant spider. Okay. All right, confirm. Sold. Wait, is it not gonna let me do this? These actual problems? I don't think they're actual problems. I think these are just required that I do something there. Okay. All right. All right. How does that look in? Want that one being worked on. All right, we do have one more to do, but I actually wanted to get this one out of the task manager first before we did that, so we can actually run 3 days forward. So let's take 3 days time. Okay, one more day. Okay. So we now have one of our mechs back. Yeah, it takes a while to set this up, but this is part of the fun of the game, is playing that, right? Okay, so we need to insta repair this. Wait, what? No. This just came out of the shop. How is it not fucking repaired? Yeah, confirm. Good chat.
Right.
Okay.
I'll get it in the schedule.
Now let's go back to repairing it, refitting it. All right. So, oh, we have to give up the FCS energy. That kind of sucks. Kind of forgot about that. Although heat generated by weapon fire is certainly something we're happy to get rid of. All right, so this is our existing hunchback, which we want to fuck with, and we are fucking with. So we've been waiting to pick up an engine core large enough to change here that we could actually run. That we could run internals on, right? Because it currently is using the basic cooling, and we can get way better cooling on it. I thought it had a heat bank. It does have a heat bank, good. So I don't feel so bad about using the heat bank on the giant spider. And it's running an exchanger too, which I like. All right, what then do we wish to do with this? I eventually want medium pulse on this, but I think we're pretty far away from it. I'm seriously considering pulling that wing system. We could also swap the endosteels out if we run out of room here to run the clan endosteel now that we pick one up. And I'm pretty sure we want to go clan XL engine here, which will give us, at the cost of a little bit of room, will give us quite a lot of weight back. Because I think we need to armor this guy up a bit more than he is currently armored, and we want to save space and room for upgrading the medium lasers to medium pulse, and we want to get the new headgear in on it. So I think there's a lot of changes we'd like to do on this one, which is good because I love this fucking system. We could try maybe running this, but I think this fucks us pretty hard. 10% heat generation is pretty rough, but it would be really sick to get this on somebody. Light PPC would work at this range. That's a fair question. That's a fair question. Do we want to try to get some light PPCs in? I think they're very heavy in terms of heat generation, but I actually don't know that for certain. Let's go look at our light PPCs. What do light PPCs look like? Heat 22. So it's these are 15s, 9s. These are 9s. And the snub nose PPC at 35. A lot of damage though on these. So this is 3 times the damage of a medium laser at a little bit more than 3 times the heat. This is 50% more damage at way more than 50%. Hey, it's Marcus. Can you give you a fast rundown of this game? Sure. You command a mercenary company in the distant future where people fight each other with battle mechs, which are giant fucking robots with guns. Well, they can melee as well often, but they're mostly with lasers and missiles and the rest of it. We are trying to both keep our company afloat financially while slowly accruing better pilots, better gear, and better mechs. So a lot of there is a tactical and a strategic layer. We're in the strategic layer right now. This is planning our mechs. And the tactical layer is you run missions with the mechs that you've made. A lot of the time in this game is spent figuring out how to min-max your resources. And one of our resources is time in our mech bays, our actual bays for developing mechs. Super fun game right now. All right. But we're at a kind of a long part for the strategic layer right now because we're making a bunch of really big changes to our mechs. So let's say we ran with the Engine XL clan here, which will get us not destroyed if our sides blow up, which would be nice. And then we also need, I want the advanced gyro on here too. DHS would make void possible. Is there a limitation for the void that required? Or you just mean the weight maybe? This had some weird like restrictions. Requires an ECM system to be installed was one of the ones. Yeah. All right, so this is going to be a big rebuild here. as big as the rebuild of the other one, which is kind of awkward because I'm not sure we actually have time to do a big rebuild of that right now. We maybe have to wait a little bit longer, which I don't want to do. Did we end up refitting the Hunchback? I can't fucking recall. I don't think we did, right? We brainstormed through it, but never actually clicked confirm. Fuck. We kind of need to confirm this. That kind of needs to be the next big use of our time because we don't have 4 mechs right now. So we absolutely have to, because we sold off our other ones, we absolutely need 4 mechs for this next mission. We're 1 day out of a system. So we probably need to do the PPC Hunchback first, exactly. Oh, but there was a reason. Okay, but there was method to our madness. And the method to the madness was, on this thing, what components were we going to be fitting in here? When we did design the rebuild of the frontline Hunchback, were we running the AMS on that? That was part of the question, and also what headgear did we not use? So I think maybe we want to design this, but just put it lower in the mech processing queue, basically. All right. So what are we gonna run on our Pew Hunchback here, our close range Hunchback? I'm liking the lasers, but let's take a look. So let's say we swapped out to Endosteel Clan, which is fairly expensive, it looks like, but okay, sure, so be it. This is our engine upgrade we've been waiting on, and it was 250 plus. I think it was 250 plus is the change for, this is gonna be expensive, right? No, actually not that bad for the engine core. 250 plus means we get internal heat sinks for all of our stuff. We can switch over to either, this is compact or just the doubles. I think the doubles are fine here. Oh, we actually have, is this heat sink? This is clan double heat sinks. What's the venting on that, out of curiosity, if we went straight to the really fucking fancy shit? Also, why did my weight just go up? Probably because the engine core costs a bunch more weight, right? Okay. So what are we actually venting for heat right now? This is only 60 as well. So what does the clan heat sink do versus the double heat sink? Just uses clan heat sinks. All right. I don't think that's relevant right now. I don't have clan heat sinks, and I have a couple double heat sinks, which we might actually want to install on this. All right. The other equipment here was we're going to put gyro defense in here. And we are also going to run... we could do ferrofibrous, but I was really hoping not to. I don't like ferrofibrous that much right now. What was the other big weight saver? The engine size, right? So we're going to run a Clan XL engine. Can't run Clan XL engine, not a front free. We'll drop the wing system temporarily. I think we're going to drop the wing system in general anyways. Oops. Game. Okay. No. Stay back, heat bank. Okay. We need 3 on that. We have 3 on that now. So this could be Clan XL. I think maybe the jump jets are blocking this here. Probably takes up slightly more. 4 engine slots reserved. I don't know if it actually mattered in the front. Yeah, we'll drop. Don't worry about the heat sinks right now, team. All right. Clan XL here. Okay, it does fit there. So it just pumps into the side. Okay, so this did decrease our total tonnage by a little bit, although we did just pull the wing system off, so actually probably didn't. But it did up our heat. So, shit. You know what we need to do before we do this, as though I just did a bunch of changes? We need to look at what we're working with, because I'm not pleased about the heat efficiency of this mech. It runs too hot right now, although we have been desert biomes, but it runs too hot in general. But we want to tweak it to make sure. Okay. So what is our base heat sink right now? Base heat efficiency at the moment, we're sinking 57 starting. Okay. All right, but if we tweak now, all right, some changes. There were a lot of changes. So we want to run gyro defense here, yes, because we need it tankier. We're probably running clan endosteel because of slot locations. We're probably pulling the partial wing system off. We are probably dropping, we have better cockpit upgrades here, a lot of them. So this is the enhanced imaging, which takes the cockpit slot. So we lose armored cowl, which I'm not super thrilled about, but honestly the +5 was, I mean, I don't know what +5 does for us. It's not the better of our armored ones. So, but we're going to go for the accuracy one here, which is the enhanced imaging. What just happened there? Do we not, does it take 2 head slots? Sneaky fuck. So we lose a medium laser to run that. That's a decision now. Has a lot of accuracy built into it. It's a really sweet thing. I just didn't realize it took one of those. So that would have been interesting to know when we were deciding whether or not we wanted it here or not. Because we are giving up stuff to get this. We get 2 gunnery, 2 piloting, 1 guts, and 1 tactics. But we give up 1 guts and 1 guts there already off that. And we're giving up 1 accuracy here already. And I think gunnery is... I don't think gunnery is exactly equal to accuracy. I don't know how many points of gunnery is for a point of accuracy, basically. But let's say we threw in the enhanced imaging here. And then also the virtual reality pod. Yeah. Which is actually fairly exciting fucking shit. And the FCS standard. Oh, we pulled it off. Do we not need to pull the standard off? Can we keep the FCS energy here? Yeah, look at that. Pretty nice. Thought we were having to lose that. All right. So we were running 7 mediums. Not 7. We were probably running 9 mediums. And we're probably going to go down to 8. So we do lose sensor sniper, which is a targeting thing. But I'm pretty sure this gives us that back and better, right? No. Do we get it off the virtual reality pod? 2 sensors checks made in this, and sensor sniper was giving us 2 as well. We get some of that back. We're just dropping the increased sensor range and increased sight range. Okay. All right. We don't have the engine stuff. Let's get the engine stuff next. So this is going to be Clan XL there, and we're upping ourselves to a 250 engine core, which is some weight back. Okay. Thank you, Nullard. Having a lot of fun with this overhaul mod at the moment. So if you haven't been around much since the new year, we've been playing with this quite a bit. All right, up to 1 million. What was the big cost that we just added there? Because we just added some big cost there. The XL. Yeah. Okay, so the XL is quite the commitment. I think we're wanting to commit here. But it's good to know. All right. So with this core start here, the question is, how do we keep our firepower up and possibly here try to get, do we want to, for example, run, so our heat's gone way up, right? Our heat efficiency is now way up. We went from, no, not really, from 50, oh, because these heat sinks are dead, right? Because we're currently running DHS heat sinks. No, we haven't made that switch yet. All right, so let's make that switch next. Which is the heatsink D. Okay. Now these are dead heat sinks because they can't be used here. So we can pull the heat sinks. And it runs a lot of heat sinks. And I think we're still above the before we were venting 57, and this is still heat sinking 69. So we're still ahead in terms of heat by a lot, right? Look how much weight that gave us back to. Fucking crazy talk. So now we might be able to do some upgrading. As I said, I wanted to leave room, both heat and weapon-wise, for pulse lasers. So we could start throwing some pulse lasers in, or we could try these close-range PPCs, these small PPCs and snub-nose PPCs. We've got a lot of slots right now with the improved endosteel. Yes, overheating and shutdowns in this mech will damage pilots now. Well, I don't know about overheating. It's only when this is active. This is a toggle, so it only hurts us when we're toggled. So we can control that to some degree. Put wings back on. We can't put wings back on right now. We don't actually, it takes 3 on either side. So we'd actually have to we'd have to give up weapons here or move the heat bank, which we can do potentially if we want to. I don't know if I want wings on this or not. It's really tough to say. I liked it. I liked the idea of it, but the -3 accuracy for it's a really -4 accuracy for moving and jump jetting is pretty rough. Let's not worry about the small shit yet. Yes, we probably want to put more jump jets on. We probably want to put more. I want the heat to be enough we can use this. I think the next round of stuff is basically okay, can we make this a stealth boat or not? And do we want to? And what does it cost us to do that? It costs a lot of heat to do that, right?